Warbots is a 12-part science fiction series that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But one of the things that reading does is it engages your brain and asks you what if. It makes you kind of think about things differently than you do from any other source of entertainment. Even movies. Movies can sometimes ask a question, but you're getting someone else's answer as part of that interpretation. And reading, you get the author's vision, and maybe you get the author's answer, but you don't get the author's answer filtered through a director, producer, actors, all of whom are doing a great job. But it gives you sort of an unfiltered view into that story. And Warbots is one that I think, while it was not necessarily as widely read when it came out, it really should be, perhaps in more ways than we'd like to think about. The series starts out, this is one of the first printings of it. Looks like that one. The reprint looks like that. The idea behind the book is what happens if the military becomes so dependent on robots because we can control them with almost our brains. We can kind of sit down at controls. We can connect with a computer, Elon Musk's little implant chips. And we can think the response the robot should have over on the battlefield. It removes the risk from a human being on that battlefield. You put robots out there. But throughout the 12-part series, especially in part one, it says, what happens if we built all these fancy machines and we come up across an enemy who has figured out how to get us in a corner in a way that we can't use the machines to solve? We have to put people back on that battlefield. So it asks a couple of questions. First, what is we got used to sort of risk-free combat, right? We could go to war with people and it doesn't hurt our people. It hurts theirs, but it doesn't hurt ours because we got the robots, man. Come on. It also says, hey, women are now robot operators. If we have to put humans back on the battlefield and women have these combat jobs, do we put women out there as well? Ask that question. And more importantly, it says, philosophically, have we gotten just too damn dependent on robots to do every job that we should do for ourselves? So it does that in a very interesting narrative way. It puts an army captain who has got a illustrious career. He's well known. He's highly regarded. He's lots of awards. Combat veteran, at least as close as the United States had at that point. And hey, let's leave the robots at home and put you back on the battlefield. What's going to happen? And of course, they're like, well, we're not trained for that. Well, quick, let's get ready. Let's go. Get back out there. And they had to do it because it was a hostage situation that the robots couldn't do. So it begs the question: as we become more dependent on drones, is that the right maneuver? And also the thing that the drones do for us, so the book kind of brings this the 12 books actually bring this philosophical question up. Is that the right thing? Because then it creates a sort of rapid version of, well, screw it, let's just go to war. It's not going to hurt us, right? It's the problem. This kills people across the world, not our people. Right? Our people are safe, and who cares about those other people as long as our people don't come home harmed? So it brings up those sort of philosophical questions in ways that we don't normally ask them. And this brings me to sort of the AI component, right? So now we've got all these AI questions coming up of how much autonomy is okay putting into different types of things, whether it's around our home, whether it's in art generation, or whether it's in military equipment. How much AI is too much AI? Where is that line? And I think this book asks that question and perhaps shows us some of the dangers of what can happen if you're not careful with that line. It was actually written by a guy named G. Harry Stine. I wrote the intro in the new one, or the preface in the new one. But G. Harry Stine was an actual no crap scientist, right? He worked on different government projects. He worked in rocketry. He worked with some very famous people. But he asked those questions, and he asked them in 1988. And at the time, everybody went, "Oh, who cares? This is never going to happen." It was 88, right? We didn't know anywhere. Well, now fast forward to 2020, whatever, 2024, and those are kind of questions that we ask. We're not on the battlefield anywhere right now, but when we were, how much of it can we give to robots? And next time we are in the battlefield, I guarantee you that tech is advanced, and we're going to have more robots and less people at risk, which is great. But then it asks that question: is where is that line? And how much AI is too much? And how much do you depend on the AI to do? Can the AI decide which targets are okay to shoot and which ones aren't? Or does that have to be human in the loop? Can the AI decide, well, shoot, the human that was telling me what to do is in danger, so I better go kill all the people trying to hurt him? Okay, great. But what if the robot mistakes, medics for people trying to, to kill him? So it asks those questions. And it does it in a very entertaining kind of way. There's 12 books in the series. They are all in re-release. They were out of print for a while. I did do the intro to all of them on the new iterations, but they're out there. They're fun. They're all on Kindle. And if you check around Amazon, you can either type in G. Harry Stine, Warbots. I think they come up under my name too. So they're fantastic. So everybody give it a shot. The first one's actually on Audible as well. They're a lot of fun. They were certainly influential in my career because they made me kind of curious about technology in ways that not many books before that did. So they made me kind of push into the sciences. At least this was one of many things that helped me push into the science. It wasn't just this series, but it actually started with Star Wars. But that's a story for another video. Give them a shot, take a look at it, and it really does ask that question of how much AI is too much AI, and it does it in a very compelling way. Everybody like, subscribe, follow, comment, dislike, whatever platform you see me on, just shout out and say, hey, loved your video, or shout out and say, hey, your video sucked. One either way, I don't care. Everybody have a great day.